What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, May 18th, 2022. We had a bunch of bangers come out this week. I'm so excited to talk about them, so let's jump right into it. Alright everyone, super quick before I get started off on this week's top 10 list, if you do enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button because it really does help out. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And as always, as I begin to talk about this week's books, just be aware, there's definitely going to be spoilers. I let some stuff slip up, I get a little bit more in depth with some of the issues than I would like to, but I do put a little spoiler tag down below to give you a heads up once I get a little bit more in depth with the issue. So to kick this list off first, we've got coming in at number 10, this is Marvel's Venom, Lethal Protector, issue number 2. This is cover A. I honestly really liked the first issue. I thought the direction of it was pretty good. The villains that they had, I think his name was Humbug. I thought he was alright, but it was really cool to see how the issue ended. This one picks up directly where that one left off, and in my opinion, I thought that this one was a little bit more cheesy. I understand that they're going for the more 90s Venom, and I know it was definitely a little bit cheesier back in the day too, especially in the 90s, but I don't know, something was a little off with this, especially when Hydro Man made an appearance, and this is going to be a spoiler, and he kind of just decided to use soap, and Hydro Man then turned into bubbles, and Eddie decided to start popping him. I don't know, I really didn't like that. I thought the action was pretty solid in this one, though. I am going to continue with this series. My expectations are a little bit lower now, and I mean, the first issue, like I said, I really liked it. This one just not as good. Definitely not that bad overall, but for all those reasons, we've got Venom, Lethal Protector, issue number 2, coming in at number 10. And next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 9. This is Marvel's Thor, issue number 25. This is cover A. So I decided to take a different approach to just reading a lot of Donny Cates' series, in particular now Hulk and Thor. It just kind of dawned on me that he is very comparable to just Michael Bay. Michael Bay does a lot of explosions, he goes for shock value, but there's not a lot of story. And I feel like that's exactly how Donny Cates is as a writer. He goes for the big fight scenes, he takes the big two baddest characters, puts them together, so obviously there's going to be a ton of action, but just very light on the story. He has incredible ideas, but they just kind of fizzle out as the arc goes on. So once I got that out of the way, and I've got a whole new approach to reading his stuff, it's like, wow, I need to go into this and not really think that there's going to be all that in-depth or great of a story. It's just, let's get some fighting out of the way, let's get some action in, and that's going to be the issue. But I'm putting this one at number 9, mainly because outside of the fighting, I thought that was really cool. But I really like how they approached Odin in this one. They had him, and this is definitely going to be a small spoiler. A lot of the issue actually revolved around him and Bruce Banner. He kind of went into Bruce Banner's mind and just relived a whole moment. I'm not going to be getting into that because, like I said, I don't want to spoil it. I need you to read this one for yourself. But I really like that. I thought that was a very interesting take to the issue, and then obviously the fighting on top of that. This one was very good in my opinion. I know I talk a lot of crap on some of his stuff, especially as of late the Hulk series. I really don't like that one at all. The last, well, I guess the first tie-in series with the Hulk, Thor, Banner War, I didn't think that was very good either. Maybe I need to go back and reread it with this whole new mindset of just, comparable to a Michael Bay film. I need to hear your opinions on this one down below. Definitely give it a read. I thought it was actually pretty solid, but for all those reasons, we've got Thor, issue number 25, coming in at number 9. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 8. This is Marvel's new ongoing series. We've got Savage Avengers, issue number 1. This is cover A. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, before I get in depth with this issue, I have read almost no Savage Avengers ever. I've read maybe a couple issues here and there. I've never completed a series, and I've never went past more than just 3 issues. I heard the last run was fantastic, so I thought to myself, why not give this one a try? And I'm really happy I picked it up. It was a little bit lighter of a week for me. I thought, why not? The artwork was great. I really like the pacing and just the development of this story. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit more unbiased because I've never read anything with Savage Avengers, so I don't really know what they've been up to, but as far as a first issue goes, someone who's kind of a new reader to these characters, I thought they did a great job bringing everybody together. So what this issue is kind of about, I mean, we've got Anti-Venom in it, Elektra as Daredevil, Black Knight, Cloak and Dagger, a few other characters are in there too, but they kind of shown each individual character, gave them a little bit of a story and just how they all came together to fight Deathlock. I thought that was cool, and then we had a lot of action, and then towards the end of the issue, that's where we find out where the plot is going to be going. I'm definitely going to continue on with this one. Let's talk about this one more down below, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8, we have Savage Avengers, issue number 1. Now we've got coming in at number 7 this week. This is Images, A Town Called Terror, issue number 2. This is cover A. I thought the first issue was alright. I really wasn't exactly sure how to feel about it by the very end of it. I didn't hate it. I didn't really like it either. And I felt the exact same way when I was done with this one. We've got the artwork. I think it's fantastic. It's dark. It's mysterious. And it just feels very serious when they're trying to just, get the point across. But then when we go on to the dialogue and the characters interacting with each other, I'm going to talk about this issue later in the video, but the dialogue kind of reminds me a little bit more of Slumber, where they are trying to be serious, but at the same time, there's a little bit of comedy to it. They're trying to be a little bit lighter to each other. But we had a little bit of action in this issue too, so it's a little bit conflicting to me. Maybe that's just my opinion on this story. I'm going to continue on with a few more issues because I am intrigued by it, but overall, in this issue in particular, we didn't get a lot more story to it. We have our main character. He finally met up with his dad, and he basically tells his kid the game plan on, your mom's missing. Here's what you need to do. And the kid obviously doesn't want to do it, but that's really the entire issue for this one. So we're going to see how it goes, but for those reasons, we've got A Town Called Terror, issue number 2, coming in at number 7. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 6. This is AWA's Hit Me, issue number 3. This is cover A. This is a fantastic series. I'm really enjoying it. The artwork, the storytelling, the pacing, I think it's very well done. However, this probably was my least favorite issue of the 3 so far. The first issue really set everything up. We got a lot of backstory, a lot of action, and it was just a very cliffhanger ending. The second issue, pedal to the metal, ton of action, and our main character still just trying to get away and survive. This one, like I said, probably my least favorite, but at the same time, still incredibly good. It was a little bit slower, and by a little bit, a lot slower. We got a lot of story, just a lot of plot progression, and our main character is doing a ton of detective work in this issue. But the cool thing is when they did go about telling stories, we got to see that side of it happening as well. So while there wasn't a ton of action and not a lot of crazy stuff happening like the other two, we got a lot of plot progression and just a very well-told story with this one. So for those reasons, we've got Hit Me, issue number 3, coming in at number 6. And now, folks, we are down to our top 5 issues of the week. And now, before I get into this 5th issue, if you are enjoying the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out. Now, we've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is Marvel's Spider-Punk, issue number 2. This is cover A. This series continues to be a massive surprise. And honestly, it's probably because I'm very biased. I just love the punk music. I love all of that stuff. And the fact that they've got Taskmaster looking like freaking Michael Graves from the Misfits. The Misfits are one of my favorite bands. So obviously, I'm just going to have to love this one too. We've got a bunch of my favorite characters. The whole issue is just straight action. But the cool thing is they really progress it with a story as well. So we've got our main Spider-Punk team. They're fighting Taskmaster and Kraven the Hunter. Basically the entire issue. But then they drop a little bit of info on them towards the end. This is going to be a spoiler saying, where you guys are located. The reason everyone keeps coming at you is because, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, he's got a whole thing going on underneath your building. So it kind of gets them thinking as well, like, oh man, we need to check this out too. So while, you go into this thinking it's just going to be a little Spider-Punk series, nothing too crazy. We got some cool action, cool characters, but they do have a good story being told as well. Want to hear your opinions on this one down low, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 5 this week, Spider-Punk, issue number 2. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is Boom Studios, and this one continues to be a surprise to me as well. We've got Alice Ever After, issue number 2. This is cover A. When I reviewed that first issue, I said I went into this pretty much with an open mind. I didn't know what this series was going to be about. I assumed it probably was going to be some spin-off of Alice in Wonderland. Admittedly, I don't really remember a lot of stuff that happened in that first issue, but as I started reading this one, a lot of stuff came back to me, and I thought, man, this is just such a unique, good story that's being told right now. I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. I'm absorbing it. I like the characters. I like the dialogue, and I don't really exactly know what's happening. Is Alice crazy? Because in this issue, she finally landed herself in the hospital. I'm pretty sure it's just like a mental institution. But all these Alice in Wonderland characters, are they real? Was she actually there? Is it because she's crazy or that she's just a drug addict right now? Because she still sees all of these characters in the institution that she's in, whether it's just other people who are in the institution with her, guards, the leader of the whole hospital. I'm really enjoying this one. I hope you guys are too. I think Boom Studios got a hit on their hands with this right now. But for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week, Alice Ever After, issue number 2. And folks, we're down to our top 3 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is Image's Slumber. Issue number 3, this is cover A. I absolutely love this series. I think it's fantastic from the artwork to just the pacing, the characters. I think 3 issues now, this is a very well developed story. Obviously, that's just my opinion. And now when I was talking about A Town Called Terror earlier, I think this is where this series shines in comparison. So for the artwork for that series, A Town Called Terror, it's just very dark. It's mysterious. They're going for a very serious tone of the story. But the dialogue for the characters doesn't exactly match that. However, with this one, I think it all just plays off each other perfectly, from the artwork to the characters, how they interact with each other. I mean, we've got these hunters that are invading dreams, trying to kill these monsters that are invading people's dreams that, causing nightmares. So it's a little bit more lighthearted. There's just a lot of just crazy off-the-wall shit happening because they're in dreams. But at the same time, they have a little bit of a serious tone to them too, because they still have to be safe. They have to be aware of what they're doing to take down these monsters. I love it. I'm a big fan of the series right now. Now, this issue in particular, I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with it because it just kind of is a nice continuation off that second issue. They're still in the dream. We get a lot of action, some really cool stuff that happens, but they're still hunting that main demon that's invading everybody else's dreams, basically causing them to just kill people, and they don't know what they're doing. Not a lot of other stuff did happen, but just overall, just such an awesome read. Give it a shot, like I said before, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week, Slumber, issue number 3. Down to our final 2 issues. We've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Boom Studios' House of Slaughter, issue number 6. This is cover A. This is the start of a brand new arc. Wow. This was a hell of a start to a brand new arc. Not a lot of crazy shit happened, so before you look at that like, yes, I am so pumped, I haven't read it yet. What's going on, AR? It's just a really good story. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think there's almost any action at all. We basically just follow this brand new character. His name is Edwin Slaughter. He's got a scarlet mask. You learn more about just the scarlet masks in general, what they do, and just kind of about this kid and just the way he thinks. I thought it was just a phenomenally well-told story. I'm really excited to see where they go with it, but to get a little bit more in-depth with it, so like I said, we've got our main character, Edwin. He's a scarlet mask, and from what I gathered, they're basically just the bookkeepers of House of Slaughter. They don't really go out. They don't really do a lot of the hunting or anything crazy like that. But he gets tasked to do some kind of just reconnaissance mission, and he just, oh, sweet, like, I'm going to be going alone to do this, and he's basically just going out, and that's where I'm going to leave it. We learn a lot more info, but our main focus is now on Edwin for this new arc. I'm extremely pumped to see about this character, maybe some more Scarlet Masks, the monsters. Let's talk about this one more down below in the comments section, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 2 this week, House of Slaughter, issue number 6. And this is it, everyone. My top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Image's brand new series. We've got F This Place, issue number 1. This is the F This Place variant. I went into this one with very high expectations. In the solicitations, it said this is a series for fans of Gideon Falls, and it mentioned another series. I think it was Homesick Pilots. I really like both of them. I did stop reading Homesick Pilots. I continued on and finished Gideon Falls. I thought that was phenomenal. In my opinion, though, I don't really think Gideon Falls is a good comparison for this series as far as this first issue goes. Maybe it picks up a little bit more. So I was a little bit let down as far as those expectations went, but it really picked up in other ways. If I had to make a comparison, I think this one kind of reminded me a little bit more from DC's Basket Full of Heads. The artwork really reminded me of it, and just kind of the way the characters interacted with each other too. That's right now something I would compare this series to. We did have some nice horror stuff to it. I really like the way the story is going. So to get into this one just a little bit, like I said, the artwork definitely reminded me of Basket Full of Heads. The story itself, these are 2 main characters on the front, and I'll tell you what, I don't know if they are bodybuilders, but those women, they look like they were gigantic. A lot bigger than I am. So that aside, though, our one main character, she inherits her family's farm. She doesn't really know who this family is. She didn't really meet her aunt or uncle before. She met them once when she was younger, but she inherited this farm. Once they get to the farm, though, a lot of crazy stuff happens. There's either ghosts, there's UFOs happening, and it seems as though this is going to be a spoiler. Once you're there, they found out you can't exactly leave, and now you just have to live with everything that's there. If you try to leave, it gets worse for you. I don't know. We didn't learn a lot about this stuff, but I'm really excited to see where they go with it. It was a very well done first issue. Like I said, I had very high expectations based on reading that it was going to be for fans of Gideon Falls. If you read that too and you were thinking that, it's not going to be like Gideon Falls at all. If you like basketball heads, you're probably really going to love this too. That's just something I compared it to, but definitely unique in its own way. Let's talk about this one more down below, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 1, taking the crown this week, F This Place, issue number 1. So what'd you think about this week's New Comic Book Day? In my opinion, overall, the indies killed it as always. Just such incredibly well-told stories, very unique. Slumber, House of Slaughter, F This Place, such awesome stories. There were some other great ones too. But then Marvel, little lacking in my opinion. Thor picked up a little bit more. I like the action. I really like how Odin just dove into Bruce Banner's mind. Spider-Punk continues to blow my mind. I go into it thinking it's going to be kind of a more dumb issue, but they're really doing a great job with it too. I want to hear all of your opinions down low in the comments section. Let's talk about it. What was your favorite book of the week, and which one do you think I should be picking up as well that I missed out on? And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.